now 1:59:58 here on the West Coast. Lori, time to start it over for one more hour.
That's right. It is 2 a.m. in the East Coast, 11 p.m. out west, 10 a.m. in Baghdad. We are at Fox News headquarters in New York and Washington, bringing you the very latest developments in this attack on Iraq. President George W. Bush has launched war against Saddam Hussein. We can tell you that these targets of opportunity have been hit. It all started about 4 hours and 20 minutes ago at 9:42 p.m. Eastern Time. That would have put it at 5:42 a.m. Baghdad time, just as day was breaking. We can tell you that several areas in Iraq have been hit. The Mosul area in the north, several areas in and around Baghdad, and there has been some mortar fire heard and seen on the Iraqi-Kuwaiti border. Now, U.S. officials are telling Fox News, and what we have been reporting in the last hour or so, is that among the targets tonight, Saddam Hussein himself. Officials say that one of the main hits was on a residence which contains a heavily fortified bunker, which Rita Cosby was talking about earlier. Our men and women on the ground gathering intelligence had reason to believe that Saddam Hussein might have been holed up in one of these heavily fortified bunkers, possibly in the area of Mosul. Now, Mosul is a place where our very own Greg Palcott has actually been in the past, and he's going to share some perspective of that with us. He's standing by in Amman, Jordan, with the very latest. And Greg, if you would, tell us what you know about the Mosul Palace. You've been there. What is it like there?
Lori, it is like one of maybe 20 or more presidential palaces around the country. It is a massive complex. You drive around it, and it takes maybe about 20 minutes to do that. High walls, a lot of structures, and a lot of very well-built architecture when you look around at everything else, which is a little bit run down in the area. And, of course, included in this palace is a bunker, security locations where Iraqi President Saddam Hussein could seek shelter and could look for some kind of protection from any kind of attacks from allied forces. Al Jazeera, as we have been reporting, has been suggesting that there has been an attack in the Mosul area. We've been hearing that for the last hour or so from Al Jazeera. They have been saying that there was an attack up there around the same time as the attacks in Baghdad. We are trying to track that down with our independent sources. We are making our own calls on that. A lot of information flying around tonight, so we can credit this to Al Jazeera. We can credit this that it certainly is a possibility that the attacks did occur up there. So far, we don't have a secondary or third backup information on those Mosul attacks. But as you say, in Baghdad, a very, very important attack on these positions of leadership, these positions of military opportunity, and very contrasted to the kinds of scattershot bombings that I witnessed back in 1998 in Baghdad during Operation Desert Fox, where at one moment you looked around the horizon and you saw maybe 10 to 12 different locations in a 360-degree radius being hit. There was a real targeting tonight. Apparently, there was a real strong information that leadership, Saddam Hussein, perhaps members of his Revolutionary Command Council, that is his very tight cabinet, maybe the Ba'ath political party leadership. These are the people that the U.S. and allied forces were looking to take out. These are the people that they're looking to target. And as we have been reporting, our own man Steve Harrigan on the border between Iraq and Jordan, and we are getting other information on this as well. A refueling depot on the other side of the border, just inside Iraq, was hit. There are some reports that 5 people were actually killed in that attack. This area, the western Iraq area, very, very critical to the operations here. It is this area that, in fact, the U.S. officials fear that Iraq might launch Scud missile attacks against Israel. So there's a lot of attention being paid to not just to that refueling depot, but to 3 different air bases that are there. So far, indications are that there have been no movement of Scud missiles to this area. But if there are going to be some areas that are going to get attention early early on, maybe even on this first night, that is going to be this area. Certainly the U.S. Officials do not want Israel to get involved. They do not want Israel to be targeted, and that could be some of the first targets. Interesting reports, Lori, that we're hearing from our Adam Housley down in Kuwait and from our colleagues at Sky News about these possible surrenders.
Decapitate the Iraqi leadership to go after Saddam Hussein specifically.